We can see here that the result of this amazing landscape has taken millions of years to come together. You've got mountains that took so long to emerge out of the movements underneath the oceans, continental movements. In our lifetime, in a few generations' lifetime, we cannot see one bit of difference. Our grandparents saw this mountain, our great-grandparents saw these mountains exactly the way they are. What's changing at a more rapid pace right now is that we humans are messing with climate. We're messing with a lot of nature rapidly, much more rapidly than nature changes by itself. And those glaciers that we're seeing over there maybe have another 50 years, 100 years. They've done forecasts. They don't know exactly when those glaciers will melt completely, but if we continue doing what we're doing, eventually they will disappear. It'll be the main change we'll see over perhaps only one generation compared to those millions of years that nature takes to organize itself. There are so many lessons from nature. We could spend the entire day. I would get sunburnt by the time this is over. So we'll keep it short and just get just enough sun for today. Let you go to what you're doing next. The problem with economics and the problem with a lot of what we do is, what grandmothers say, we put all eggs in one basket. It's a grandmother's proverb that we think we know. Right? We put all eggs in one basket because we think we know. And we humans are really, really good at thinking that we know. When in reality, we can be wrong. And we discount small risks. We can never really measure the small risks. So it's not so much a conscious realization that nature did. Nature doesn't have this kind of conscience the way we humans do. Nature just organizes itself based on events and changes. And what's incredible over there is that I cannot count the trees. I have no idea how many trees we have just in that particular panoramic view. Thousands of trees that are diverse. They're not exactly the same. There are patches of grass, of rocks in between. If there's a fire, the fire will stop around the rocks. Some trees will die, but the trees on the other side will continue on. If all the trees were connected to the same roots, or if killing one tree just contaminated everything, we'd have no tree left. Of course, that's always the danger of viruses that now spread faster, and we have airplanes, we've got a lot of exchanges around the planet that before viruses were contained geographically, now people get into planes and that goes everywhere. And we haven't had that issue yet, but it's something to look out for. And that fast movement of people, airplanes, and that distribution creates sort of a network effect that prevents the strength of nature. The strength of nature is distribution. It's isolation, right? We've got 2 eyes, we've got 2 lungs, we've got 2 kidneys, and there's a lot of redundancy, right? We've got veins, we've got arteries, and all of this world there is also made robust by being made redundant. And redundant not in the sense of unnecessary. Redundant in the sense of I haven't put all my eggs into one basket. As nature, it's distributed its information, its life components, its resources. And that has lasted millions of years as a result. And we can think that everything that has not been distributed before, that has been made a single point of failure, has perhaps failed and is no longer here today. So everything we see here is the surviving piece of nature. And so nature is distributed. And so should everything else in life that we do, so should it be. Banks should not be dependent on one another. And we've seen that banks are very dependent on one another. When one fails, like it happened in 2008, you had one bank failure and that pushed a domino into another bank, which pushed two more dominoes into other banks. And the dominoes just kept going because there was no isolation of the issue, right? The system was so interconnected, everything was so dependent into one another, that it is like all these trees would be dependent on one another. That if I cut the tree right here, all the other trees fall down. That's crazy. That's crazy, but that's what sometimes we do as humans. And that's when we don't look at nature, we don't learn from nature. And you can pretty much find the other lessons of nature outside, these videos. You just walk out, you find a forest. If you're in a big city, you find a park. And you walk slowly and you sit on a bench. Just stand in front of that park, of that scenery. And you look at the way things are so beautifully organized. And you'll find that society has not learned as much as it could have, as it should have, from that organization.